What's up, Jason?
Good morning.
It's a groovy day, isn't it?
Yeah.
Jason,
Hello.
friend,
Hi.
we miss you.
Hello,
I miss you. How's everything going?
Better now.
Great.
It's a good day?
It's a good day. It's a good day to have a good day.
It is a good day to
It's
have.
like Friday, but it's Wednesday.
That's right. You're going to have some time off, aren't you?
Yeah. Turkey time off.
That's good. All right.
So good to see your face, Jason. Thank you so much for teaching this class with us. And for those of you joining on, you get the pleasure of being taught by one of the best lead generators in the business. He's actually opened up his secondary market in Missouri, where he's going to be teaching his class from today. So lots of greatness.
And Jason, how long have you been in real estate?
I am now in my third year. So 2020 was like my second calendar year in real estate. So 2021 will be my third. But
I
so
met you
started
in
in June- I
Ignite.
started in June of 18. So I guess I'm in my third year now. Yeah.
Good morning, Stephen. Good morning, Desiree. Good morning, Marla. Good morning, Sarah. Good morning, Chris. I love that we got Steven because I can see Desiree push her kid off on one screen and it pops into Steven's. I love husband and wife teams. They're the best.
Tag, you're it.
Looks like we have a good group of people on here today.
Yeah, typically about a minute or two after delay. I know we got a couple that said they would not be able to make it because of prior engagements, but we'll get the recordings. But we do have a good gathering, a good gaggle of geese, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
Nicole up top still has her daughter's name on the Zoom. Oh, we'll give it a minute for everyone to get logged in here.
So Aubriana is really Nicole.
Yes.
Got it.
The rest of you have the right name, except for this Kayla Shenek person.
What?
Just talking trash because I know you can't hit me.
I can find you.
You have my address.
So what's the weather like in Arizona today?
Beautiful.
Amazing. I was going to say it's going to be like 72, I think 75, my daughter said. So awesome.
That does sound pretty wonderful.
Yes.
I have the heater on. It's about 10 degrees colder in Oracle.
So right now it's 55 degrees where I am. A low of 42, and it's kind of rainy. It's lovely.
Where are you at?
I'm in St. Louis, Missouri.
Okay.
Yep. I spent my first 2.5 years in Tucson, and just like a month ago I moved.
Sorry.
No dying on the call, Letha. Awesome, guys. Well, it's 10:02. I'm going to let Jason get started. I want to say thank you so much for joining us for day 3 of Ignite November 2020. This is going to be an awesome day. We're going to learn a lot about scripting and how it's going to empower your business. You're learning from literally one of the best lead generators I have ever met. And I ask that you all please, as you do, keep your cameras on, be engaged, participate. Mic's off if you don't have any background noise. If you do, please self-monitor. We're going to let Jason run with it. Other than that, guys, I do have to bow out. I've got a meeting I'm starting on the other end. I will be back here shortly, but listen, you're going to learn tons. Thank you so much for continuing on, and have a great day. Jason, it's all yours.
All right.
I'm making you host right now, Jason.
Okay, great. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Morning.
I'm really excited to be with you today. A couple of things on my mind before we jump right in. So why don't I start by telling you a little bit about myself. So I started in real estate in June of 2018. And now I'm in my third year, on track to close about 60 transactions this year. Just recently brought on some help. So basically a single agent, but now have a small team, and going to kind of do the same thing here, really just following the MREA model, having brought on a transaction coordinator and then someone to help with some showings. So that's kind of like what my journey has looked like. And I just recently moved from Tucson to the St. Louis area to be closer to family. And it's been really great. Been here now for about 3 weeks, getting to see a lot more of grandparents and parents and aunts and uncles and cousins that we haven't gotten to see much over the past 11 years living in Tucson. So that's kind of a quick story about me. I'll share with you a little bit about what I love about real estate and what I love about KW. So when it comes to real estate, I love the fact that there's unlimited potential. Like there's literally nothing you couldn't accomplish in real estate. There's no amount of money you couldn't make in real estate. I think that's pretty fantastic. I also love the fact that our results in real estate are directly tied to our actions. You know, a lot of us have probably had jobs before where things didn't really go our way, and sometimes maybe blamed other people, and maybe they had some fault in where we found ourselves. But it's really hard to do that in this industry, because it really does depend on the actions that we take. Makes sense? I love that. To me, that's empowering. And then when it comes to KW, I'll just talk a little bit about that. I love the culture that we have. When I say culture, I mean that it's good to be around people that have big goals and big whys. That's kind of what culture means to me. And I love the fact that we're with a company that has the world's absolute best training and coaching and technology. Those are the things that I really feel have helped me to be successful in my business. And I'm certain that if you put in the work, that you're going to see great success in your careers as well. So this class, Ignite, you guys ever built a fire, whether as a campfire or a fire in a fireplace at your house? You kind of start off with like some paper and some little sticks, and then it's like some logs, and like every time you throw something else on that fire, it heats up, right? So every Ignite class that you go to is like throwing another log on the fire of your real estate career. And so today, when we talk about scripting, this is going to be a log that you can just throw on there, and it's going to catch on fire and really heat things up for you to get you on your way to closing some deals. This is some really key material. I would love, so before we go further, I would love to learn just a little bit about the people I'm talking to. So if we could just take a minute, tell me your name and something about yourself to help me kind of get to know you a little bit. Maybe why you got into real estate, or something that you love about what you're doing, or maybe a goal you have, so I can get to know you a little bit. You guys good with that? All right. I'm just going to call on you to keep things moving. Nicole?
Hi, I'm Nicole Sanchez, and I'm pretty brand spanking new, and I'm switching industries.
Mm-hmm.
So from 16 years of being a food salesman. So there's a lot to learn, but their concept is very similar in a lot of the training and goal setting and whatnot. So I feel confident in that aspect. And
Cool.
excited to kind of learn all the technology part, get my stuff so I can hit the ground going, because I need to get my name out there and get some clients.
Yep. That's awesome. I love it.
And I love the color purple, a little bit of an obsession.
Yeah. Perfect. You're going to see a lot of purple around KW
I know, that's what I heard.
and some red. Steven?
Sorry. Yeah, I'm extremely new to it as well. I was in a lot of customer service and started a few small businesses on the side, but they required too much time away from the family. And so I wanted something that I could do that wasn't so physical, but at the same time, I like a hustle feel.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Thanks for sharing. Marla?
Hi, I'm Marla. This is my first year. Got licensed December of last year. And my daughter Charity has been in the business with KW for 6 years, so I'm on her team.
Awesome.
And I retired in December last year, so I just kind of got into this to do the admin, the transactions and the communication and emails and all that for Charity. And now I'm loving it. I love to show homes. That's the fun thing for me. Just
Super
it feels
cool.
good to help someone find, the perfect home.
Yeah. Very cool. Thanks for sharing that.
Mm-hmm.
Sarah?
Sorry, I'm watching my kids pick up poop. So I'm Sarah Coon, dog poop, back and making sure today's cleaning day for friends. So I'm new to selling real estate. I just have a background of general construction. My ex-husband and I have general construction backgrounds, renovating tons of homes in Phoenix. So I now want to just sell them and hopefully flip a few myself.
Sweet. I love that. Letha?
Hi, Letha Gonzalez. I have a lifetime worth of sales experience, 15 years in flooring, and then my husband is a general contractor and I run his business for him as well. And I worked in both fields and it's at my age, it becomes painful. So you start thinking of how can you take all this knowledge and accumulated sales experience and put it to work, and real estate just seemed like the perfect avenue.
That's awesome. Glad you're with us. Heather?
Hi, Jason. I know we've met before because I did Ignite in August.
Yep. I thought you looked familiar.
Yep. I do have my license now. Been with KW for a couple weeks now. Just getting going.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I am a Air Force spouse. My husband is 2 years from retirement. And I joined real estate because, well, I like looking at houses and I needed something with somewhat flexible ability.
Yep.
Having a 1-year-old now.
Yep. I can understand that.
I thought I was done because I've got a 13-year-old, but
Oh yeah. You never know what life might bring you.
No.
Well, thanks for sharing. Mr. Joseph?
I come from a background of last 6 years I did commission sales and furniture and bedding. I just kind of wanted to move on to bigger, better things.
Good for you.
Do things that really help people. Yeah.
Sweet. Glad you're with us, my man. And then let's see. Desiree, I think you'd be next.
Hi, I'm Desiree Brown. Steven's my husband. We came into this as a team. I started before him and then he followed into. I've been a stay-at-home mom for a while now, and I really wanted to get back into working. And instead of going to a regular 9-to-5, not knowing what I really wanted to do, we really decided to invest in ourselves. And like he had said, working certain businesses you don't have that flexibility to make your own schedule and put in as much as you want to get out of it. So that was really why we chose this. And then with our own experiences with selling our house, buying other houses, we worked with 2 different realtors, and we felt, we could do this and possibly do better, and be very truthful and honest with what we want to do for people.
I love it. Coming from contribution, that's good stuff. Mr. Christian, are you with us?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Hi. I was in banking for like 30 years, and then I retired I've been out of business for about 5 or 6 years. I run a couple of small businesses that I own, but I wanted to get involved in something a little bit more challenging. So I got my real estate license. I've been buying and selling and remodeling for many, many years. And I think I could be successful in this, and I like the flexibility because I spent some time on the coast. Eventually, I'd like to get my license in California as well, so I could work there and here. I think there's a good synergy there. But that's basically it. My kids are grown up; they're out of the house, so it gets a little boring.
Yeah, super cool. I appreciate you sharing. Well, I'll tell you a couple more things. So we're on this virtual call, right? I wish that we were all in the same room together, because, having been in these types of classes myself, both virtual and in person is a little bit more powerful and impactful, typically. And so whenever I find myself on a call like this, in order to get the most out of it, some real common sense stuff, keep your camera on, stay engaged, maybe take some notes, be available to answer a question, role play. So the more involved you are over the next 2 hours, the better the likelihood of this actually having a positive effect on you. So just wanted to encourage you to do that. I'm certain you all will. I just like to mention that because I know it can be challenging for me sometimes when I find myself on virtual calls to stay engaged and to stay plugged in. So, the goal of Ignite is going to be to get you guys an appointment with someone who needs to sell or buy a house as soon as possible, within the next couple of weeks. And then also to get you in contract and get you a closing, in about a month or so. I'm curious, does anybody currently have anything in contract? It's okay. You do. Fantastic. Good job. Yep. The rest of you, it's going to come. Just keep doing the things that you're being taught, and I promise you it will come. You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of, let's say you wanted to run a marathon. I've never run a marathon before and probably never will. However, if I wanted to, I know that I could download an app on my phone, and it would tell me exactly what to do every day, exactly how much to walk or run, how much time I should be spending doing it, how far I should be going. And I know that at the end of a few months, it would have me to where I'm able to run a marathon. So I'm not going to teach you how to run a marathon, but I am going to teach you how to sell homes, how to build a database, and how to nurture that database and convert conversations that you have with people into leads, and leads into appointments, and appointments into signed contracts, and contracts into closings. Because in order to convert all of those things, you need scripting, right? That's how you get a lead to agree to meet with you. That's how you get someone you're sitting with at a kitchen table to agree to sign a contract to hire you to work for them. You need scripting for that. And then even to keep them in contract so that it closes, you need some good scripting to get you there, and to keep things together. So that's really the goal. And the whole reason we're doing this is to help you with those conversions. Now, could I ask you guys, when it comes to scripting, so I know that it may seem like kind of maybe a weird thing or an uncomfortable thing to learn language patterns and phrases and even whole paragraphs that aren't your words, that are someone else's words. Anybody feel a little bit uneasy about learning those and implementing that? I can admit that I do, even with scripts that I'm working on right now. And so just to kind of help us get over that a little bit, let's just kind of admit the fact that we all have scripts that we already use, that we have always used. Things like, well, let me just ask you, do you have any examples of a script that you use all the time, not real estate related? How about happy birthday? Is that a script? I think it is. That's a script. Someone's celebrating the day that they were born, you tell them happy birthday. We all say it that way because we feel that it's a efficient way and it makes sense to express our well wishes to someone on the day that they were born. Or even something like, good morning, how are you? I'm good, thanks, how are you? Anybody ever said that? Thousands of times? Yep, that's a script. So whether you think about it this way or not, you kind of have some scripts in your life already. And so we're just going to add to that in real estate. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and open up our PowerPoint. Thanks for bearing with me. You guys can see my screen?
Yeah.
Awesome. All right, so you can see these are the things that successful agents do every day. We grow our business and we run our business. And specifically, when it comes to scripting, is lead generation, right? Searching for new sellers and buyers. And then listing presentations. We use scriptings to get listings signed, as well as buyer presentations, including showings, negotiating contracts, and transaction management. All involve scripting. So using scripts is going to help you to generate new business, find those buyers and sellers and set appointments with them. It's going to help you to uncover motivations because whenever we meet with somebody, we don't want to meet with just anybody. We want to meet with someone who is highly motivated and hopefully highly qualified to be able to take some action. And we're going to be able to help you with having some really powerful questions to help identify that for you to decide, do I really want to meet with this person or not? And then to identify objections, to overcome objections, to close deals, and to speak in terms that the customer understands, and really to build your confidence as well, because the more that you practice these things, the more that you're going to be comfortable with them. Kind of like riding a bike. The first time a kid starts riding a bike, they kind of are a little clumsy, right? Well, I would say that in real estate, when we start talking to our clients about their home, the sale of their home or their home purchase, we can be a little bit clumsy, but going through some of these scripts is going to help us to get better and to feel more comfortable. So this is kind of an interesting slide. The idea here is that there's lots of different businesses that utilize scripts. I can think of some that I used to use with my old job. I'd love to hear from you. Maybe it's a prior work experience or just a store that you go into sometimes. What are some scripts that we hear?
Well, the business that I was in, a huge script that we used all the time was that when we asked the customer, are you sure you're comparing apple to apple?
Yeah, I like it. So I'm going to tell you one, and I want you to tell me where I worked. All right. Hi. Is that all for you today? Here's your change. Thank you. See you next time.
McDonald's.
Close. Quick Trip. I worked at QT for 18 years. We would always have to greet the customer, count back their change, say thanks, and ask them to come back. That was just a language pattern.
18 years.
18 years I worked at QT, yeah. So 1,000 times a day for 18 years, I said, hi, thanks, see you later. Isn't that crazy? But it got people through the line, got them in and out, which was our goal, is to turn the lot. If I got creative with, conversations, when you were in my line at Quick Trip, it really slowed things down. And it was not a quick trip anymore, it was a slow trip. What other language patterns do you see? Have you experienced?
When getting referrals, or say something on my husband's Facebook page, and I'll give him a call and say, hi, this is Letha Gonzalez from Manuals Construction Services. I was told you were looking to get a roof done. It's an introductory into what they were, they posted about in regards to wanting something. So you kind of put that out there and then stop and let them fill in all the blanks.
Mm-hmm. Yep. How about this one? You walk into a coffee shop or a store and someone says, sir, do you have a mask with you today? That's a script.
New norm.
Yeah. All right. So I think we've kind of made our point that these are all over the place. All right. Now, we all probably have some limiting beliefs around scripts. And when I say limiting beliefs, what I mean is like some affirmations, some negative affirmations that maybe we say out loud, or maybe that just kind of play over in our head. I mean, I'll give you an example of a negative affirmation that doesn't have anything to do with this. I called my wife yesterday. We have 3 little boys. And when I was on the phone with her, my 2-year-old took his lunch and dumped it on the floor while she was trying to clean the kitchen or something. And while she was on the phone, she said, I can't get anything done. And I didn't say it, but I'm thinking, that's a negative affirmation. You shouldn't say that. But it is true. Like that's a limiting belief, right? That's kind of a negative affirmation. And so we have these around ourselves. We have these around our business. And I would say that we probably have them around scripting. And I would love to know. And so the idea here is that whenever you shine a light on it, it's almost like a cockroach. It goes away. So let's shine some lights on our limiting beliefs around scripting. Anybody willing to share a limiting belief that you might have around scripting?
I think most people would say that it doesn't sound like me. That's not something I would say.
Yep, it doesn't sound like me. It doesn't sound like something I would say. I appreciate you sharing that. You know who it sounds like? It sounds like somebody who makes a lot more money in real estate than you do. The difference between us and people that make more money in real estate is scripting, right? They say things differently than we do. That's one of the main differences between us and people that make more money in real estate. Jason, thanks for sharing that. What else?
The fear of sounding robotic.
Absolutely. We've probably all gotten the phone call from somebody that's trying to sell us windows or solar or something. And they say, hello, my name is such and such. I'm calling today to, and we hang up on them right away because we're not buying what they're selling because they do sound robotic. And it's obvious that they have said this probably 100 times today. It's kind of a turnoff, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've actually talked to telemarketers and ask them, talk to me like a human being. Stop reading your script.
Mm-hmm.
That's good.
Because you can't get them off of it.
Yeah. So there's this process when it comes to scripting. Step 1 is to memorize it. Step 2 is to internalize it. And step 3 is to customize it. So I have some scripting that I do around lead generation and qualifying leads and setting appointments. And when I first started using those scripts, I did it word for word. And I don't necessarily do it word for word anymore. Pretty close to word for word, but now sometimes I change it a little bit because I've gone through those steps. I have memorized, internalize, and then customize. What most of us want to do right away is just customize. I want to make this my own. But what ends up happening is we get kind of clumsy and we say things in weird ways, and we actually make it more awkward than it has to be. But I appreciate you saying that, because there's definitely the possibility that we could kind of sound robotic, 100%. Who else? I'll share one. I have a fear that, like, what if when I'm talking to them, they get the idea that it's a script and it makes them not trust me. Right? Wouldn't that stink if I'm talking to somebody about the sale of their home or buying a home, and they get this idea in their mind, oh, he's just saying a script to me, and maybe they wouldn't trust me. You know how I know that that's a limiting belief, that's a negative affirmation. When you go to the dentist and you sit down in the chair, you think they have a script.
Mhm.
Certain things that they say and ask, every single person that sits down in their chair, 100% they do. Every single time they've got a script. They have a certain conversations that they have with everybody that comes in. Would you say that builds trust? I think so. We trust them to poke around in our mouth and drill into our teeth. I would say that being scripted actually helps to build trust with people. When I do a consultation with someone, it used to be that I would sit down and it would just be kind of random. We would just talk about, number of different things, and then I would leave, and sometimes I would land their business and sometimes I wouldn't. Now I'm much more systematic about it. I'm much more scripted. I have an outline of bullet points that I put in front of every single client, whether it's my mom or my best friend or somebody that I met at an open house or door knocking, and we go through the bullet point list, and I make sure that they are comfortable every step of the way and fully prepared, and they know for sure that what I'm saying to them is a script. And it builds confidence. It builds their confidence in me because I do that. If I went in and I was very entrepreneurial and just said random things, it might not have the same effect.
Right.
You think it makes you sound more professional?
100% more professional. That's exactly right. One of the points on this slide that I think is really important is that they allow you to stay focused on the conversation and in the present moment. The reason I bring this up, everybody has a different personality, right? Some people are more chatty. Some people really love to talk about themselves. When we meet with someone for a buyer presentation or for a listing consultation, our goal is to get in and out with a signed agreement in a certain amount of time. We don't want to be there for 2 hours. We don't want to be there for an hour and a half. We don't even want to be there for an hour. Like, if we're there for an hour, it's time to get moving, right? There's some agents that have it down so well that they can be in and out in about 20, 25 minutes. I know Sean Polston's like that. And so when people start talking to you about all kinds of different things, you know, they want to tell you about the remodel that they did, and they want to tell you about their brother-in-law who's the contractor, and they want to tell you about the kind of tile that they use. Like, we don't need all of that. What we need is to talk about what it's going to take to market your house, what it's going to take to price your house to sell. We want to go over what it looks like to work together. We want to go over expectations of each other. We don't need to talk about your remodel and your brother in the tile. So having a script allows you to talk about the things that you know are most important to accomplish what this person needs to happen. Again, it kind of goes back to that professionalism piece. This last bullet point on this slide talks about consistency. I think that's important for lots of different reasons. Partially because in a sense, we kind of want to treat everybody the same. You know, we want people to get a consistent experience working with us. Just this week, I went to work for a buddy of mine who was the best man in my wedding, which was like 18 years ago. And when I was going over to his house, a part of me thought, I'm just going to take him out and show him some houses. We're going to find something. And, you know, I don't know how he's going to feel about signing a buyer agreement. And, for a moment, I kind of had that limiting belief about, we'll just see where this goes. You know, it'll just kind of be this random kind of experience. But I knew that's not what I should do. I knew that I need to follow my scripts, I need to follow my plan, I need to follow my listing presentation. So I got there, took a quick look around the house, sat down, got up my bullet points for him and his wife, went through everything just like I would for anybody else. And they sat there in silence as I went through everything. And then they signed everything that I needed them to sign. We priced their house to sell. They signed a buyer agreement. They're now listed, going live soon. They're now in contract. Because their goal is to sell their house and buy a new one and get moved to be able to have a house for their kid to grow up in instead of a condo. And if I had gone in there very entrepreneurial and had some kind of random conversation with them, we probably wouldn't be in the situation we are today, right? So I think consistency is important because we want to basically to treat everybody the same.
Are those bullet points universal for everyone, or are they specific for each client that you're going to?
It's universal. Yep.
Are you going to share those?
Yes. So one of the Ignite classes that you're going to do is going to be a listing presentation. So you're going to get, honestly, a little bit more comprehensive version than what I have. I'd be more than happy to give you what I have. That's no problem. But you'd honestly probably get a more comprehensive. So what I'm going to do actually is in a minute, I'm going to include my phone number in my email. And if there's anything that you want from me, like if you're like, Jason, I want your script on this or that, or you mentioned this, can you send something to me in more detail about that? Feel free to ask. That way I don't have to remember all the things that you asked me for throughout our conversation. All right, this next part is kind of cool. All right, whenever it comes to memorizing scripts, there's actually a certain method that you can use, and here it is. So you would read the first sentence of the script out loud 5 times, and then you would repeat it 5 times while smiling. It may seem, I don't know, kind of goofy to do that. It makes a difference. It makes a difference in your energy when you smile. Standing up also makes a difference. I would say that whenever you script practice and when you lead generate, when you stand up, it will help you with your conversion, and ultimately you'll make more money. A lot of really successful agents have a mirror in their office so they can actually see themselves when they're lead generating, and they can see themselves when they're script practicing. You know, script practice and role play, sometimes we think of it as the same thing. It's not, though. Script practice is what you do on your own, and role play is what you do with another human being. So this slide right here really shows you what script practice looks like. So you read the first sentence 5 times, you say it out loud 5 times, and then you move on to the second. And you read it several times, and then you do the whole thing from memory. Well, for the first 2 sentences while smiling, and then you do it 1 sentence at a time, repeat it 10 times, and then you do the entire script as fast as you can 5 times in a row. So I know I busted through that really quick, but I'm certain it's in your book. I just want you to know that you have a model here for how to memorize a script. Some of you might remember having to memorize something else at one point in time, the Gettysburg Address or Bible verses or something. This is a way to memorize scripts in real estate. All right, so we've talked about scripts. Now, the next part of our time together is really going to be doing some role playing. Now, I'm curious, so far, does anybody have a script that you have, that you've been working on, or that you like, that you want to use in your lead generation?
I've been using the script that you were coaching me on as far as finding the asking if they know of somebody who in a profession that you could use as a vendor.
Yeah,
that script.
That's a really cool one. So what Jason's talking about is what I would consider to be a lead generation script, but it's kind of coming at it from a different angle. He'll actually call someone and say, hey, I'm reaching out to you today because I'm curious, who do you know that I should be in business with? What vendor do you know? Maybe a painter, carpenter, electrician that I could refer to my clients. And so it reminds people that you're in real estate, and it gives you the opportunity to support people that are in their life, and it allows you to add another person to your database to be able to stay in touch with systematically. So I think it's a really, really neat script. Jason, you good with a role play?
Sure.
All right, go ahead and call me.
Ring, ring.
Hello?
Hey, Jason, this is Jason Thompson with Keller Williams, Southern Arizona. How you been?
Fine, thanks, and you?
Good. How's the family?
My family is good. Thanks for asking. My little boy just learned how to ride his bike.
Oh, that's so cool. That's awesome. It's a neat time. Hey, I didn't want to take up too much of your time. I just wanted to call you, and I know that you know a lot of people that, as a reminder, I'm in, and I apologize, I'm screwing up on the script already, but I'm in real estate, and I'm actually looking to build my vendor list. Who do you know that owns a business or is a professional that I should call and add them to my vendor list?
Well, my neighbor's he lays flooring. I could give you his name.
Oh, that would be awesome. So go ahead. What's his name?
Yeah. So his name is John.
Perfect. And do you happen to have his number?
Yep.
And I'll reach out to him. And
yeah, it's 520-123-4567.
Perfect. Now, would it be okay if you actually introduced us via text?
Oh,
Or
sure.
would you guys? Okay, I would
That's
love
fine.
that.
Yeah.
And then I would, and then I'm kind of off script and sidetracked. There's a lot.
Don't crash into anybody at Costco, Jason.
Yeah, I'm trying to get away from people, get away from everything, and people are still finding me. But so yeah, I off script and lost track what I was saying. Sorry.
It's okay. So that, I think he's done. So a couple things I would say we could learn. Like whenever we do our script practice on our lead generation, it's helpful to just be focused on that, right? We should probably have a place, whether it's our office or someplace at home, that we can just focus on the script practice or the lead generation, because it's pretty easy to get distracted by lots of other things if we do find ourselves somewhere else trying to do those sorts of things. And then I know that Jason has been making phone calls using this, but I don't know if he ever went through like a process of memorizing anything word for word. I'm curious if anybody else has a script that they have either used for lead generation or something else that you would like to run. If you don't, no worries. I do, and I'm gonna role play it a little bit. Who wants to be my role play partner? Okay. So I'm gonna call you. I'm gonna say ring ring, and whenever we role play, a couple of things for you to keep in mind. Ultimately, you're going to let me set the appointment. You're going to be a motivated seller or buyer, or you're going to know somebody who is, and you're going to give me their information. So ultimately, you're going to let me win, because we're training to win. You don't need to train to lose. We're going to lose thousands of times. We're going to hear thousands of no's. We don't have to practice that, but what we need to practice is winning. So whenever you're the lead, be motivated, and you're going to give me 4 objections. So 4 times, you're going to make it a little difficult for me. I don't know whether you're going to say, it's not really a good time, or I really should talk to my spouse, or there's another realtor I was thinking of, or my schedule's really busy. I don't think I have to. Just like 4 times, give me a little bit of like pushback. And then whenever we're done, feel free to give me some either positive reinforcement and or constructive criticism. And then we'll be as realistic as possible as we do it. All right. Ring, ring.
Hello.
Hi, thanks for taking my call. My name is Jason, and I'm a realtor with Keller Williams. And the reason I'm reaching out to you today, we are currently helping about a dozen families with their home search in the Tucson area. And due to the low inventory, we're struggling to find anything. So today, on behalf of my buyers, I am doing some prospecting, and I'm curious, who do you know who's thinking of selling their home that we could help?
I don't really know anyone who wants to sell their home right now.
Okay, no worries. I appreciate you taking a second to think about that. Well, I'm curious, have you ever given any consideration as to what your home could sell for in today's market?
Sure, I've thought about it.
Very nice. Well, if you could live anywhere in the Tucson area, where would that be?
Probably in the Northeast or Northwest.
Northeast or Northwest, great. And if you were to sell your house and move to that area, why would that be important to you?
Maybe just a different house or closer to schools that I want to be at for my children.
Okay, so it sounds like if you were to sell your house and move there, that you would be closer to school, and that ultimately that would decrease your commute time, give you some more time at home with your family. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Great. Well, when it comes to a time frame for your move, what does that look like for you?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, we don't know what the future holds, and things are so up in the air, and I can't even tell you.
Could you see yourself moving in the next year?
Maybe.
Could you see yourself moving in the next 6 months?
I'm not sure about that one.
Okay, so probably 6 months to a year if you were to move. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, gotcha. Well, I'll tell you what, whenever I get connected with someone who's thinking of a move, one of the first steps that I'd like to recommend is that we would set an appointment, really for the purpose of getting to know each other, of talking about what it is you hope to accomplish, how I can help, and to review the process to make sure that you're comfortable every step of the way and fully prepared. Would next Thursday or Friday afternoon work best for you?
I don't think I need to right now, since we're talking about 6 months to a year.
Okay, so it sounds like you're hesitant to plan an appointment to get together with me because you're just not quite ready yet. Is that right?
Yeah, I think so.
Other than that, is there anything that would prevent us from getting together for a chat?
Probably not. I mean, just
Okay.
not sure if it's worth
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, I understand. So whenever I come over, I'm not going to ask you to list your house. I simply want to talk about what it is I do to help families get their homes sold for top dollar as quickly as possible, and to go over what it would look like to price your house to sell. That's it. So would you be open to meeting with me next week to do that?
Yeah, I guess maybe.
Okay, so pause. You're going to give me 3 more objections.
Oh, I didn't give you enough yet?
You only gave me 1.
Oh. Okay, not next week. No, sorry, I can't do next week.
Okay, so it sounds like you're pretty busy. I'm curious, what's your typical day off?
Sundays.
Sundays? Okay. I could come over on Sunday. Would you prefer morning or afternoon?
On my only day off, I don't think that's gonna work. We just don't really need to do this right now.
Understood. You know what we could do to make it a little easier on you is we could actually do it virtually. We could have a Zoom meeting or FaceTime, whatever you're most comfortable with, just to make things a little bit more convenient for you. Would that be okay?
Yeah, I mean, I just don't really need to do it right now.
Think of another objection.
Oh, God, you're killing me here.
Tell me your brother's a realtor.
Oh, okay. I have other friends and family that are in the business, so I'm just not comfortable working with a new person. I don't even know you.
Yeah, so it sounds like you have someone else that you know who's a realtor that you would consider hiring for the job of selling your home. Is that right?
Yeah, I think so.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'll tell you what, right now in Tucson, there's about 6,000 real estate agents. So you have a lot of choices, and the choice that you make is very important. And it's more important today than ever to choose someone that has a proven track record of selling homes. The average agent in Tucson only sells about 4 homes a year. So far this year, I have 53 homes closed or in escrow. So whenever it comes time to interview agents for the job of selling your home, wouldn't it be reasonable for you to consider all of your options?
Yes, I agree. But what about if the agent is a rookie? Are you going to go over that? Because,
what do you mean by that?
Well, like you just use that to help you.
Oh, exactly. Yep.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to be able to
as
say
a new
that.
agent, you can't say that.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, let's back up and try again. Great. So hiring a realtor is a very important decision. And in Tucson, there's about 6,000 real estate agents. It's not that hard to get your real estate license. It takes about $600 to take the class, and maybe a couple of months for someone to get their real estate license. And so it's important that you hire someone who's a professional, someone who is responsive, someone who is an expert in the market, and someone who cares about helping you to meet your needs. And I would love the chance to get in front of you and to interview for the job of selling your home. I'd love the chance to earn your business. Is there any reason why you wouldn't be open to meeting with me?
So I like that response. So it is a little tough to hear you with the sound
Somebody.
that.
Names for some reason right now. Somebody needs to mute themselves.
Yeah, please.
Someone's wrestling.
Yeah.
Walter.
Kind of missed that because that was good. Because
Walter, can you mute yourself?
me?
Walter Brown. He's muted. Good job. Thanks, Walter. All right. So what we're talking about now is your value proposition, right?
Yeah.
So my value proposition might be a little bit different than yours. I just told you how I have 53 homes closed during contract. When I first started, I didn't say that because that wasn't true, right? So for me, when I first started, my value proposition was basically this. Being an expert in real estate doesn't necessarily require you to have a lot of experience in real estate, because to me, being an expert in real estate means that you're a professional. Now, when it comes to being professional, you will answer someone's question and provide them with information if you know the answer. And if you don't, you're going to find the answer for them, and you're not going to pretend to know something that you don't. So that's what my clients can count on me for, is being a professional. So I think that should be at the top of your list when it comes to your value proposition.
Yeah, that was good.
And then a second thing is responsiveness. One of the most common complaints against realtors is the fact that they don't answer their phone, they don't respond to emails, they don't respond to text messages. It's a really common issue with realtors. We don't have a boss, right? We kind of do whatever we want. And so a lot of them kind of stink at responsiveness. And so what you can count on me for is that if you call, email, or text me, I promise you I'll respond. If I can respond right away, I will. If I'm in an appointment, I'll get to you as soon as I can. If you reach out to me between the hours of 8 a.m. and 8 p.m., I'm probably going to be answering your phone call or your text right away. So professionalism and responsiveness are two things that you don't need experience for. And then the third thing, maybe the most powerful thing, nobody can out-care me. I care more about you, your family, your goals of selling your house and buying a new house and finding the perfect house. Nobody cares about you more than I do.
That was good.
And you can show them that in lots of different ways. The first time I get connected with somebody, they get a handwritten card in the mail. You can have something like that made with your name on it. Sometimes I'll even pop by their house with a little gift. You can stop by and give them maybe some candy and a card or coffee mug, or just something to make them feel like you care about them. I was on a real estate team for a while when I was new, and I had this client that I connected with on the internet, and I immediately sent her a card in the mail. And then when I called her a week later to set the appointment with her, the day that we were going to meet, I was actually unavailable, and my team leader was going to go on the appointment. And she's like, no, Jason, I want you to come to my house and meet with me because you sent me a card. I don't want to meet with your team leader. I thought that was kind of funny, like I'm new at this. I know like a small portion of what my team leader knows about real estate, but they wanted me there because I'm the one who sent them a handwritten card in the mail that probably said, "Thanks for connecting with me regarding your real estate needs. I look forward to serving you."
Now, how was that team that you were on? Was that beneficial to be on a team in the beginning for you?
So we're not going to dwell on this, but I will answer your question. You could do it either way. You could join a team or you could not join a team. You might find a situation where you join a team and it helps you to meet your goals. You also might decide that you don't want to join a team, that you're going to achieve your goals a different way. Each person is different. In some ways, a team could offer you a higher level of structure and accountability. If you really like that idea, great. You could also find that structure and accountability in other ways. You could put it on your calendar every morning that you're going to lead generate at 8 a.m. You might put it on your calendar that 7:45 you're going to script practice every day. You've basically given yourself, you could report your numbers on a spreadsheet every day, how many contacts you make, how many leads you got, how many appointments you set. Dan could easily help you to form your own structure and accountability. You could have an accountability partner that calls you every day and does your script practice with you, and you can report numbers to each other. You don't have to be on a team to have structure and accountability. But if you really want structure and accountability and you want it from a team, then great, join a team. I'm not a huge advocate either way. I hope that was helpful.
Jason, where do you get your scripts?
Where do I get my scripts?
Yeah.
Was that your question? I would say some of the scripts that I use were given to me by my coach. I have a MAPS coach. You know what MAPS coaching is? No? All right. So MAPS is it's a company, a coaching company within Keller Williams. And they have lots of different types of classes and coaching that you can take, and you actually pay extra money for it. I have a coach that I pay on a monthly basis. We talk on a weekly basis, and he's taking me to new heights, and it's well worth my money. And I get admission to things like family reunion and mega camp and masterminds and things like that. So I would say some of my scripts comes from that. Some of it just comes from material that I was given early on in Ignite. Some of it I learned from other agents that I've connected with. Some of them in Southern Arizona, some of them not in Arizona. I've written some scripts. I have on my computer, a handful of scripts that I like, that I use all the time, that I have handy if I want to share with somebody. So I get them from a lot of different places. And you probably will too. You'll probably have some that you get from agents, some that you get from leadership. And one day you might decide to write your own script. You might decide, you know what, I'm gonna start calling for sale by owners. And these are some things that I've learned about lead generation, and I'm gonna piece these together and make a script. Now, I'll warn you, don't get real creative in the beginning. Just, do what you can to follow the proven systems and models. And then later, if you want to write your own script, then go for it. Does that make sense? Yeah. All right, so we were doing some role play. And so what I did was I practiced Man, we really got off track. So that was my circle prospecting script. I'll call a random neighborhood with that script. And usually within about 20 or 25 people, I find somebody who is thinking of a move. And then once I have the motivation, I dig in. I go for their where, their when, and their why. When it comes, and there's kind of a certain way that I say that. I don't just say, where will you move? I say, when it comes to a location, what does that look like for you? And then I say, why would that be important to you? And then I say, what would that ultimately do for you? So I'm going 3 levels deep. So the where, and then the when is important, right? When it comes to a time frame for your move, what does that look like for you? Sometimes they know. Sometimes they'll say, we want to move by next fall because we want to be in our house before the holidays. Great. What would that ultimately do for you? Oh man, it would allow us to host Thanksgiving dinner and have all of our brothers and sisters over. Great. And then you might have heard me kind of repeating back some things to people. There might be some limiting beliefs around that. Like, oh man, am I going to sound goofy if I just repeat back what they say? No, you don't. It actually sounded like I really cared about her when I did that, right? I don't know if you remember, but she said something and then I said, oh, great. So it sounds like you're wanting to move to the north side to be able to get closer to school for your kiddo and not have to spend so much time driving around. Is that right? And then they're like, yeah, it really helps them to know that you care about them because you're listening, you're doing active listening. To me, that's a pretty important part of our scripts is repeating back motivation. Yep. All right, let's see what else is on our agenda here. I'm going to take away the screen. All right. So the next thing I want to talk about a little bit is you're going to have to put this on your calendar, right? If you want script practice and role play to be a part of your business, it's going to have to be on your calendar. A lot of agents will put this. So actually, a lot of agents hardly ever do it, to be honest with you. But those of us who do it, sometimes it's 15 to maybe 20 minutes a day. I think it's helpful at the beginning of your day, right when you're getting ready to do your lead generation, to do some script practice. And so for Ignite, you guys have a partner, right, that you're doing script practice with? Nicole, who's your script partner?
I mean, we only did one so far, Rhonda, I believe, and I did it. I mean, we just started Monday.
Okay, so you just started. So
yeah.
You should all have a script partner. Who has a script partner? I do. Stephen, who's your script partner?
My wife sitting next to me.
I had a feeling you were going to say that.
Yeah, we got lucky.
So I'd like to give you some homework. If you don't have a script partner, find one. Like by the end of the day, find somebody. Maybe they're even in this class with you. Maybe it's an agent that you've seen around the office. I actually have an agent that's on my team. So I have an agent on my team that I script practice with. I also script practice with another agent in the office in Tucson named Leah that we meet once a week over the phone for a script practice. I have an agent that I'm friends with KW in Denver, Colorado, that we talk once a month. And when we do, we script practice. And so find somebody who's willing to meet with you on a regular basis, whatever that looks like for you. I don't know if you're going to do it every day or twice a week or what. The more you do it, the better, especially right now when you're first getting kicked off. But can you all commit to finding somebody that's going to be your script practice partner? Give me a thumbs up if you're down. All right, good job. And then the other piece of that is once you've found that person, imagine if you had a script practice partner and it's on the calendar and 8 o'clock rolls around and you call them and they don't answer the phone. That would suck, right? Don't be that person. Don't be the person that's not ready to go when the time comes. Put it on your calendar and honor it. Are you guys familiar with the 5 jobs of a realtor?
Legion.
Wait, who was that? Was that
Jason?
Steven?
No, Jason.
Oh, that was Jason Thompson. Well, that's not a bad answer, but it's not the answer that I was thinking of. I was actually counting on you to come through with the answer on this one, Jason Thompson.
All right, so I'll be serious then. It's Legion, scripts and role plays, and finding a seller. And what am I at? 1, 2, 3. Well, I'm lost on the rest of them.
I'll help. So lead generation is one of the 5 jobs. Lead follow-up, going on appointments, negotiating contracts, script practice, and role play. I'll say it one more time. Lead generation, lead follow-up, going on appointments, negotiating contracts, script practice, and role play. Those are the 5 jobs of a realtor. Not to say that's the only thing you ever do, but that's your 20%. Those are the things that are going to make you the most amount of money. Do you know what I mean when I say you're 20%? There's the Pareto principle, the idea that 20% of your actions will result in 80% of your success. Pareto was like an ancient philosopher. And so those 5 are your 20%. So script practice and role play being that 5th job is just a reminder of how important it is and that it belongs on your calendar. Now, another thing I want to bring up is you guys have homework, right? You guys have homework for Ignite. To add 10 contacts every day, to have 10 conversations every day, to do 10 handwritten notes every day, and to preview 10 homes every week. Let's first talk about adding contacts. I would love for somebody to share with me why adding 10 contacts in a day might be a part of your homework for Ignite.
Because that means you're making the calls.
Jason, I think I heard you say that if you add 10 contacts, that you're making your calls.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. So I like what I think you're saying there is that, like, if you add 10 contacts, you've probably had your 10 conversations with those people. So you knocked out goal number 1 and goal number 2 all at once. I like it. Any other thoughts on why adding 10 contacts to your database is part of your homework?
Because we can't concede or succeed without a good database.
That's true. You can't succeed without a good database. Now, I'd love to know more about when you say a good database, what does that look like?
Without any knowledge, I'd say it doesn't matter the number. It's more of if you get stagnant and you got no more, you can't just continue to call the same people all the time. So if you're not continually adding people and increasing your database, you're going to run out of a database.
That's true. So the bigger your database is, the more business you can do. That's 100% true. Another thing that we can talk about here is when it comes to having a good database. What if all I have for somebody is their name and their phone number? That's not perfect, is it? Like, we should have
But it
more
gives you a chance to
information
get it.
than just a name and a phone number. We should, like, what should we have?
Their email and their home address.
Email and home address. Absolutely.
But a lot of our contacts that we already have, we might only have their phone number. So
Yep.
Dan was saying we should still add them and then call them to get the rest.
Yes.
I think
100%.
it's tricky at the moment of if I know them, it's fine to tell them what I'm doing, but then asking them for more information, it's like they know I'm trying to sell them. And they're my, friends or acquaintance or old business.
Yep. So let's talk about that for a second. If I'm a new realtor and I'm calling my friends, and I've got a little bit of call bias. When I say call bias, I mean that before I even dial, this thought pops into my head. Oh man, I'm gonna call them, and they're gonna think I'm bothering them, and maybe they won't like me anymore. Maybe they won't want to be my friend because they're gonna feel like I care more about their business than their relationship. That's kind of what you're thinking, right? So that's a legitimate thought. It's actually happened to me. In 3 years, that's happened 3 times where I've had somebody say, Jason, I don't want you to call me. I know what you're up to, and I don't want to hear about real estate. If I need something, I'll call you. But other than that, just like, let me call you. It happened 3 times in 3 years. You know how many people I talk to every week? 100. So that's probably not going to happen to you very often. I'll tell you what, I just moved here to St. Louis, and there was a guy that I went to grade school and high school with that I called, and I said, hey, Ryan, I'm moving to the area and I'm a realtor and I want to connect with you. I want to stay in touch. And if I can ever help with anything, I'd love for you to think of me. Just last week, Ryan introduced me to somebody that needs to sell their house. I have a listing signed and I'm helping them with their home search now. That's going to be 2 transactions that'll probably close in January. I have another friend named Matt, also went to grade school with in high school. I called him. I was like, hey, Matt, I'm moving to the area. I'm a realtor. I want you to think of me if there's ever anything that you need. Matt just signed a listing documents with me, and he's in contract. I've kind of been in touch with Matt. Ryan was a little bit harder. There's this other guy named Jack. Jack and I, our families were friends when we were like 10 years old. I haven't talked to this guy in 30 years. I looked him up on Facebook. I got his number. I reached out to him. And I said, hey, I'm moving back to the area. I would enjoy connecting with you. I'm a realtor. If you ever need anything, I'd love for you to think of me. Jack and I are now searching for 2 rental homes for him. Because he had a real estate need. So just an encouragement to you, when you're calling your database and getting information from them, yes, we're doing this because we want to grow our business, because we have goals of helping families sell and buy homes and investment properties. And we want to do it by forming meaningful relationships with people. We believe we have a lot to offer. We believe that if we don't call them, somebody else will. And if they fall into the hands of another realtor, that the probability of them getting taken care of in the way that we would take care of them is not likely. The probability of another realtor answering the phone for them or showing up when they need us to is not that likely, because we have such a high level of professionalism and responsiveness and care. We have a lot to offer our people. And if we don't call them, someone else will. So that's what helps me get over the call bias.
Can I add to your story, Jason?
Please.
So I used to be a Vitamix rep. Jason and I lived in the same neighborhood. We would say hi to each other or whatever. But he started calling me. He got my number and he started calling me. And I was like, wow, this is cool. Like, he always says hi to me when I see him out and about. But we really didn't have that friendship of, that we knew each other. I just knew he was a martial arts teacher and he worked at QT. And he knew I was a Vitamix rep. So anyway, he started calling me out of the blue, and then he was sending me cards saying, hey, I saw that you went on this amazing vacation to the Philippines. And then I remember the one that actually got me into real estate was he called asking if I knew of anybody that was looking to get into the real estate business. And I've always had it in the back of my mind. And because of his call, that's what got me in finally to get my butt in gear and get into real estate. So thank you, Jason.
You're welcome. That's another script, by the way. Call everybody you know and ask them, who do you know who might be interested in getting into real estate with the #1 company in North America? Could you call everybody you know and ask them that? Who do you know who's thinking to get into real estate? What it does, it makes them think of you, and it makes them think of real estate, even for just a moment. And it lets them know that you're with the #1 company in North America. When you say that, you can tell them, we have more agents, we sell more homes, and we do more volume than anybody else. That's what it looks like to be #1. We're in over 50 countries. If you called everybody that you knew and asked them that question, you think you might pick up a lead? You think somebody might give you some indication that they're thinking of selling or buying a house? I bet they would. That's a script. Yep.
I have a question. Since I'm new and I'm going to be starting on my friends and family list, do you recommend like letting them know the first time, or since I've been quite antisocial from people for a while, should I just make the first call to just reintroduce myself and then maybe call them back in a week or so, just randomly, and throw it in there? Do you always recommend to do it first?
I like this question. I think it's a really important question. I believe that we must earn the right to ask for their business. So, the first time that I ever called somebody, I can remember being like, hey, just calling to check on you. How are you? How's your family? How's your business? Oh, you know what? By the way, I'm a realtor now. And honestly, it's kind of a slimy approach, right? Let's be honest with people. So let's call them and do Ford. You know what Ford is? Family, occupation, recreation, dreams. Those are the things we should start off by talking with people about. And it doesn't have to be a 30-minute conversation. It could be, how are you? How's your family? How's your business? Listen, the purpose for my call, we should always have a purpose for the call. The reason I called you today is this, and the purpose should be real estate related. It might be, I wanted you to know that I'm in real estate now, and if you ever need anything, I would love for you to think of me.
I really like that one. That's nice. It doesn't
right?
feel slimy.
Yeah. A lot of us will call and say, who do you know who's thinking of buying, selling, or investing in real estate? Like, you can say that. But especially for that first phone call, to call them and say, how How are you? How's your family? How your business? Listen, the purpose for my call, I wanted you to know that I'm a realtor, and I want you to feel free to reach out to me if you ever need anything at all. I like that approach. And then a little bit more forward, a little bit more of, hey, I hope you guys have a great time on your vacation. To wrap up that
Yeah,
phone
because you
call.
could always go back to the forward again after you've just thrown it out there, and then you could do the card and other touchbacks with them as well.
Yep, that's what we call a Ford sandwich.
You mean the Ford on the side of the road? Yeah.
Yep. Another, we're talking about calling our database. Well, let's go back to what I was originally talking about, the homework. So adding 10 contacts a day. Here's a question for you. Let's say you have 10 people in your database, just 10, and you do an amazing job of staying in touch with all those 10 people. Do you know how many homes you'll sell in your first year? One. You'll sell one. Let's say that those 10 people, you grow it to like 100. You could then expect to sell 10 homes, right? So one for every 10 in your database is what you can expect to close. About half of them will be someone in your database, and about half of them will be someone that was referred to you by someone in your database. So a 10% conversion is what you can count on if you do a great job of staying in touch. When it comes to doing a great job of staying in touch, what does that look like? This is your Bible, MREA, Millionaire Real Estate Agent book. It talks about a touch system. Used to be called a 3 touch. Now we call it a 36 touch because we know that if people hear from us 36 times a year, that we have what we call mind share. If I were to ask you right now to name a soda, you would probably say what? Somebody name a soda for me.
Diet Coke.
Yep, that's what people always say is Pepsi and Coke. Is that because it's your favorite? Is it because it's the best soda ever? Maybe not, but they have mind share because of the type of advertising that they've done. Or if I asked you to name a detergent, what are you going to say?
Tide.
Tide, that's what everybody says. Is it because it's your favorite or because it's the best detergent in the world? No, it's because Tide has your mind share. Our minds are inadequate vessels. You only have room for so much in your brain. Most people can name one or maybe two realtors. Most people can name one or maybe two attorneys. Most people can name one or maybe two CPAs. They can't list 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 of these different things. They can remember one or two because of the way that our brain categorizes things. And so when we stay in touch with a 36 touch system, we've got the mind share, and they can't help but think of us. Now, does it seem kind of daunting to do a 36 touch? Anybody feel like, oh man, 36 times, how am I going to do that? Raise your hand if you think that sounds like it's daunting. Absolutely. You're not wrong that it might feel daunting, but there's some very easy ways to do it. What if you had a quarterly client event? Let's pretend for a second that we don't have COVID or that you get real creative. By the way, you can still have a client event with COVID. It could be outside, it could be socially distanced. I had a lender do a client event for their realtors, and it was yoga. We were all spaced out on a field, and we had a yoga class and got like a yoga mat when we left. It was really neat, and did that in the middle of COVID. So if you use your brain, you can think of ways to do events. So anyways, let's say you have an event, and let's say that a month before the event, you call everybody and invite them. There's a touch. Let's say that 3 weeks out, they get an invitation in the mail via email. There's a touch. Let's say that 2 weeks out, they get a card in the mail inviting them to the event. There's a touch. Let's say the week of the event, they get a text message from you confirming that they're going to come. There's a touch. Let's say right after the event, you call them and say either, thanks for coming, or sorry I missed you. There's a touch. That's 5 touches for every event. Let's say you have 4 a year. 5 times 4 is 20, right? And then let's say you've got them on a monthly email. You can do that real easy in Command, a monthly neighborhood nurture, if you've got their address. That's 32 touches. What if you send them a Christmas card? That's 33. What if you call them on their birthday? That's 34. Now you really only need 2 more touches. What if you also did a quarterly call plan where you actually call them and ask them for business? That's 38 touches right there. Not that hard, right? If you wanted to, you could even do a bi-weekly email where they get an email every 2 weeks out of Command telling them what's happening in their neighborhood. That's a really easy way to get to those 36. So when you touch somebody 36 times a year, you get that mind share. You become number 1 in their mind. For every 10 that you have in your database, you're going to sell a house. I got to tell you, that changes over time. Instead of 1 in 10, it turns into 1 in 6. So for every 12 people in your database, you get 2 transactions a year. That's what happens when you do this for a while, kind of like a snowball effect, right? With the amount of mind share and loyalty that we gain with the people that are in our database. So that first job that you have right now during Ignite of adding 10 people a day is because we want you to meet your goals next year. If you have a goal of selling 25 houses by December 31, you need to have 250 people in your database. And you need to have all their information, name, address, phone number, maybe their birthday, maybe a wedding anniversary. Pretty easy to get on Facebook. You can be sneaky. Go on Facebook and look at their about info. You can get their birthday and anniversary. Not everybody posts it, right? Some people just don't put it on there. But you know what you can do? If you went on Facebook and typed in Jason Carlton birthday, I bet you're going to see a post about my birthday somewhere. If you type in Jason Carlton anniversary, you're probably going to find a post somewhere about me and my wedding anniversary. I've gotten so much data from stalking people on Facebook. And so now I send birthday and anniversary cards. I have over 800 people that I send a birthday card to. You think they're going to use somebody else when it's time to sell their house? Probably not. I'm going to tell a funny story about Big Dan real quick. A while back, I called a buddy of mine named Dominic, just checking in. Did some Ford, purpose for my call. You know, please think of me if there's ever anything I can help out with. And then I said, hey, have you talked to Nick recently? A mutual friend from like years ago. I said, give me Nick's number. I want to call and say what's up to him. So I called Nick. Turns out Nick is thinking of buying a house. And I went through my script with him, qualifying where, when, why would that be important to you? What would that ultimately do for you? Sounds like we need to meet next Thursday or Friday, best for you. He came into the office. I did a buyer consultation. He signed a buyer agreement. And Dan walked by and he's like, what's up, Nick? What are you doing here? Call your database or else I'm going to get him. Sorry, Dan, just wanted to.
Jason's proud of that. He really is. We're not going to go on the other side of that fence. But and that's why I give him the prominence that he is a fantastic lead generator and stuff like that. And I know other friends of mine that are in his database that he constantly markets to that I know that he's trying to get their business, but
there is no try.
Exactly. That's why he's going to fail to do so. Because once bitten, twice shy. You can't burn me twice. No, 100% is always ask the question of who else and then stay in contact. you never know when somebody's going through a life-changing event where they need.
Yep. So when it comes to adding 10 contacts in your database, how do you do that? Go ahead and tell me, anybody who's doing it, how do you add them? Where do you get them? Where do you get 10 people every day?
Honestly, I think it's going to be more door knocking
Yeah.
for me, I think.
Have you done that yet?
No, because I don't have any cards yet. Like, I don't have anything.
All
I
right.
don't know what to do without at least a card or a flyer.
I can help.
Oh, okay. Tell me something.
You know who never carries a business card? I'll tell you two people that never carry three people. Gary Keller, Jason Carlton, and Dan Caldwell never carry a business card.
What? Dan?
You know why? This is how it goes. Hey, nice to meet you, Nicole. I'm a realtor. I would love to text you my card so that in case you ever need anything, we can easily stay in touch. What is the best phone number for you?
Okay.
What's your number?
520-977-3177. I did text a few people my card that I took a picture of that I ordered.
Yep. So now my contact card just hit your phone. I want you to click on it and save it to your phone. And if you ever need anything, I want you to feel free to reach out to me.
Thanks.
Now what's going to happen is, well, I'm not really going to do this to you. But in real life, every week for a month, I would touch you somehow. I would send you a card in the mail. I would send you the app. I would call you and ask you, how did you like the app? Maybe that fourth week, I call you and say, I'm doing some prospecting today for sellers. Who do you know is thinking of selling their home? Who do you know that I could help? And now I've got the mind share after I've touched you every week for a month. And then you go on my 36 touch program. Maybe I friend you on Facebook. Maybe I get your birthday and put that in command and put you on a birthday smart plan and put you on a neighborhood smart plan, right? So you don't need a business card. So door knocking is great. I love that. When I door knock, I know that in an hour I can talk to 10 people. And I know that usually about 30 or 40% of them will happily give me all of their information.
Can you give me your door knock script?
Yes, I will.
Can you tell me right now?
Yep, I will. Hi, I'm Jason. I'm a realtor with Keller Williams. And I stopped by today because I wanted to introduce myself. I help people sell and buy homes in this area. And I would love to know, what do you love most about your neighborhood? Thanks for sharing that with me. If there's anything that you don't love about your neighborhood, what would that be? I'm working on learning as much as I can from my sellers and my buyers. Understood. Well, if you could live anywhere in the area, where would it be? Why would that be important to you? What would that ultimately do for you? When it comes to a time frame for your move, what does that look like for you? So I'd go into the where, when, and why, and set the appointment if they had motivation. Most people don't have motivation. And so when I ask them, if you could live anywhere, where would it be? They'll say, I'm happy right here. Great. Well, like I said, I do represent sellers and buyers in the area. Curious if you know someone right now who's thinking of a move that I could help. Most people say, gosh, I don't really know anybody. And then I'll say, great. Well, I'll tell you what. I'd like to text you my card just in case there's anything I can ever help with. This is where about 3 or 4 out of 10 will normally give me their phone number right then and there. And
so how long does that take you to get comfortable doing that? Because that takes a while.
Great question. I'm gonna answer that for you. I want you to think about 2021. Think about how much money you need to make to pay your taxes, to fund your business, to pay for your living expenses, and to have and to be generous, to have a positive impact on someone else's life. Think about how much money that is. It's going to be different for all of us. For some of us, it might be $50,000. For some, it might be $500,000. Now, in order to do that, you need to have 3 to 5 lead generation levers that you're willing to do every week. It doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't matter if it's door knocking, circle prospecting, open houses, database. You need 3 to 5. You need to pick them and you need to do them. And so I want you to think specifically about that last thing, the people or the causes that you're going to be generous with, that you're going to have an impact with your money. Think about them. I don't know if it's your kids, if it's maybe your nieces or nephews that you want to put through college, maybe it's your church. So, we need to think about being comfortable with door knocking or cold calling or even calling your database or calling a for sale by owner, expired or canceled. Whatever it is that makes you uncomfortable, when you think about the people and the causes that you want to have a positive influence on, you get real comfortable real fast with doing hard things. Does that make sense? When the why is big enough, the how doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So are you saying in a nutshell, get uncomfortable?
Yeah. Get comfortable being uncomfortable. All right, so we talked about adding the contacts. And so then we talked about, obviously having the conversations with those people. You're going to use scripts with that. It could be anything. It could be the I'm new to real estate script. It could be the vendor script. That's where you call and say, I'm in real estate. I need solid vendors to be able to refer to my clients. Who do you know that I could add to my vendor list? I think you could have a lot of fun with that. There's another one that I love, what I call the charity script. I like to donate my time every year to charitable nonprofit organizations. Is there anything in particular that you're passionate about that I might be able to donate some time to this year? And then a lot of people might say, yeah, actually, I'm really involved with the Boys and Girls Club or Big Brothers Big Sisters or the Art Museum or who knows. And we're having an event and we need some volunteers to come and serve cocktails. You bet I'm going to that. I'm going to volunteer my time for that. I'm going to get to meet some people and put them in my database, right? And it's a great reason to call people. So you got the charity script, the vendor script, I'm new to real estate script. So having those conversations. And then the other piece of the homework is 10 cards a day, right? Who are you sending cards to? What are you saying in your cards?
Well, it's a perfect time to send out Christmas cards to the 10 people that you talk to.
Oh yeah, holiday cards. I love it. That's a wonderful idea. You can get some really cheap cards on Amazon. You don't have to go out and spend $5 on everybody's, Christmas card.
The title company will also print stuff up for you.
Yep. I got these birthday cards for dirt cheap on Amazon, and I think they're so cool. They look like they're handmade. Yeah, so let's say you got a card from me. It said something like, hey, I enjoyed meeting you. I'm excited, for your real estate career. Keep working hard. You're going to do some great things. If you got that card in the mail from me, how would that make you feel? Feel pretty good, right? Or if I got a card from you, I would feel that way. I think they're pretty impactful. I think that if you're not doing them, that you're missing out on some opportunities. That you're taking dollars. They're kind of slipping through your fingers, Get on those cards. If you don't have cards, buy them. If you don't have stamps, buy them. That's the first domino, is to actually get the cards and the stamps and the envelopes there at your house or in your office. Is there anybody that needs cards? I bet Dan could help you. There might be some cards.
I got a couple stacks of thank you cards on my desk. You guys can come grab if you want. I got 25 stacks. I think I got 4 of them left.
Yep. So there's cards laying around the office. And I don't know if this is still happening, but I know that sometimes, the front desk will actually have some stamps that they might be able to give out to some of the agents that are in Ignite to at least, get you started with sending out some cards today, and then you can go and get your own stamps. So get on your cards, because it's going to make people feel pretty amazing to hear from you in that way. And then the last piece of your homework is to preview homes, right? Who's doing that? Good job. Good job. What do you feel is the benefit of getting out there and actually getting into some houses?
You get to see what's on the market.
Yeah, you're becoming familiar with what's on the market. You're getting a good feel for what a home is worth. That's really important. So if you're, and 10 homes a week isn't that hard. I can normally show 3 homes an hour if they're kind of close by. If I'm by myself, it could probably be more. I bet you could go out and preview homes in about 3 hours or less. So if you're not doing that, I would encourage you to get out there and start making it happen to improve your market knowledge. I know we don't have very much
On that,
time together.
do you only view vacant homes, or do you view homes that have people living in them?
Yeah, I appreciate you asking that. If somebody is living in the house, we shouldn't show it unless we have a pre-qualified buyer that's ready, willing, and able to write an offer. If it's vacant, go and preview it. But if it's not vacant, let's not bother people. I'd like to dwell a little bit more on the adding the contacts, because I know that that's hard. I would say social media is an opportunity for us to add contacts to your database. We all probably have hundreds, if not thousands, of friends on Facebook that are not in their database. Who's kind of active on social media? Raise your hand. Cool. So you ever post something and then a whole bunch of people react to it? Maybe you post something that's not even real estate related, and you go and see that like certain people hit the like button, certain people did maybe the care button or the heart button, and it kind of makes you feel good, right? To see that people are reacting to what you're posting. The people that are doing that, they ought to be in your database. Those people would be referring you business if you were asking them for it. So I will intentionally post things to see who reacts to them. It tells me who likes me. And then I send them a personal message. Something like, hey, thanks for connecting with me. How are you? How's your family? How's your business? I'm working on my database. I'm working on my address book. I'm going to be sending out some Christmas cards this year, and I would love to put you on my list. What's a good address for you? Now's a great time to reach out to people and ask them that question. I'm working on my address book. I'm going to be sending out some Christmas cards this year. What's a good address for you? Could I also have your phone number so I can text you my card? That way we can stay in touch and you can easily reach out to me if you ever need anything. Utilize social media. If you don't feel like you have a ton of friends, add friends. Go on there and think about who are the people in your database that you would like to have more friends like them. For example, I have a few friends that are like attorneys, tax providers, financial advisors, people that are professionals that come into contact with lots of people. I purposely treat them a little bit different. I make sure that they definitely, get those touches from me. I might even go on Facebook and see if we have some mutual friends, If we've got 5 mutual friends and I send a request, the likelihood of that stranger accepting my request is pretty high. And then once they do, shoot them a quick message. Thanks for the connection. How are you? How's your family? How's your business? Feel free to reach out if I can ever help with anything. Can I text you my card? What's a good number for you? Now, yes, there will be a lot of people that maybe ignore your request. Maybe there will be people that don't even respond to your message. Maybe there will be people that don't want to give you their phone number. It's okay. It's a numbers game. There will be people that accept your friend request. There will be people that engage with you in that conversation, and there'll be people that are happy to give you their phone number. And so I've done this. Just a few months ago, I did this exercise, and I ended up with a couple coffee dates with people that are professionals in Tucson that are now in my database that I have on a 36 touch that are getting birthday cards from me, that if they ever had a real estate need, they would probably come to me. And I just got them from sending out kind of some random Facebook friend request to people and then engaging them in conversation. So the encouragement here is to use social media to build your database. We talked about using door knocking, kind of gave you a script. Open houses is a great way to build your database. If you do an open house, I would say it's pretty normal to have maybe like 6 people come through or so. Put those people in your database. If you did that once a week, there's 6. What if you did that 2 or 3 times a week? What if you added like 12 or 18 people every week to your database and started staying in touch with them systematically? What effect would that have on your business? So use open houses as a way to do that. Thoughts? Comments, questions, ahas?
Thank you. That gave me and my wife a lot of good ideas and stuff that I didn't think about.
Cool.
Definitely. How did you do your first year?
My first 12 months, I had a goal of grossing $120,000, and I was on a team. And so in order to do that on my team, I had to do 24 transactions. And so I began with the end in mind, and I worked it backwards like a math problem. I knew that I had to go on 2 appointments every week. I knew I had to sit down at someone's kitchen table or at a meeting room at the office 2 times every week. I made sure that happened over the course of my first 12 months. I ended up closing 24 homes. I ended up grossing just a little bit over $120,000.
Nice work.
Thank you. Beginning with the end in mind is super important.
Mm-hmm.
Don't just be like, I'm going to go and see what happens. Figure out how much money you want to make. Why do you want to make that money? What are you going to do with it? And tell them. Tell your family, we're going to Disney World next year. Tell your parents, I'm going to come and visit you. And, whatever you're going to do, tell your favorite organization that next year you want to pay for something for them to help them, and then build a business plan around that. And then, so the goal itself is actually somewhat irrelevant. Whether it's how much money you want to make or how many houses you're going to sell, the purpose of the goal is to inform the plan, right? Once you have a plan, once you have a GPS or a 1-3-5, once you have one goal, 3 priorities and 5 strategies for each one of those, and you get that on your calendar and you follow it, you can't fail. It's impossible to fail. If you know that in order to sell so many houses, you need so many appointments, and if you need so many appointments, you need to make so many contacts. If you're committed to making those 100 contacts every week, and you do it, you honor your calendar, you follow through with that action, and all of these other things fall into place, you can't fail. Isn't that cool? Any other questions, ahas, comments?
What are you going to do differently now that you've gone through this class with Jason?
Really start practicing script.
The most successful people in real estate are highly scripted. Did you use the line that I know it doesn't sound like you? It sounds like somebody making a whole lot more money than you.
Yep.
It's true.
Yep. And you know, I love the question Dan just asked about what's one thing you're going to do, because just to be honest, like, you're not going to go and do everything we talked about today. I know you're not. I know I don't go and do all the things that I learn in classes that I attend. But if you could pick 1, 2, maybe 3 things that you're going to do today, that would be wonderful. It would have a tremendous effect on your career. And realize that there's a first domino. What I mean by that is, find your partner. Who are you going to do this with? Put it on your calendar. What scripts are you going to do? Print something, put it up in your office or in your binder or on your computer or wherever. Figure out what those first dominoes are, and commit to those, and make it ridiculously easy. Like, how hard would it be to find somebody today to commit to meeting with tomorrow? Not that hard. You could do that in the next hour. How hard would it be to put it on your calendar for tomorrow? Not that hard. You could do that in like a minute. How hard would it be to pick a script? Take like you a minute to pick a script. So figure out what's really easy and do those things. And once you've picked a script, picked a partner, and picked a time, then it happens. And then if you can commit to doing that on a regular basis, whether it's every day or even twice a week, nothing's going to stop you.
My scripts and tricks class every day, 8 to 8:30 every morning. I can tell you the people that are in that class and joined every day and participating are doing more business now than they have been prior. Number 1 rule of real estate is just show up.
Yep.
Well, awesome. Anything else for Jason? Anything else for the group? Any further comments, questions, concerns?
I am going to put my number and email right here. So if there's something in particular that you want from me, you can feel free to reach out.
Thank you.
He's a great resource, guys. I am honored to call him not only a colleague, but a friend. And I can tell you firsthand, when you get a card in the mail from somebody that says happy birthday, even as an adult, you get giddy and happy about it. And Jason is one of 2 people in my entire database that sent me a card for my birthday last weekend. So take what this man has taught you and run with it. You will make a fortune doing so. But thank you for everyone joining in today, Ignite 3. I want to say that tomorrow I want you to spend time with your family, time with yourself, and time on your soul. Enjoy your Thanksgiving. Enjoy the little break in the momentum of our days. There's enough 2020 craziness going on, so let's get rid of it for a little bit. I will see you back here 9 a.m. on Monday for our next class in this series. And if anything happens, you need some help between now and then, please let me know. If you have not done so, please get your Ignite books from the Market Center today, so you have them over the weekend to fill in the notes that you haven't filled in already. We good? Happy Thanksgiving, guys. Enjoy the rest of the
Happy Thanksgiving. Thank you.
Thanksgiving.
Have a groovy day. Jason, when you end it, it'll close it all out.